Hi everybody, this is Julie Bean with Beadaholique, and these are my favorite quick tips. So I have listed my top 5, and the top 5 are not in any order. These are just though my very favorite quick tips that I've discovered over the years. So I wanted to share them with you in this video. So my first quick tip that I really love, and this is like a jewelry hack, is if you work with a lot of beading thread and cords, you know they come untangled. So, and if you have kids or cats or dogs, it happens a lot. So what I like to do is I like to take a hairband, and this is just a normal stretchy hairband you buy at any type of store. You can usually get quite a large pack of them for just a few dollars, and I like to wrap it around my thread. And what this does is it keeps it from unraveling, but it doesn't actually damage the thread at all. So I've done this on wildfire and fireline spools, and I've done it on this Eslon. So I have a bunch of these now that have my hairbands around them. And it's great because if you lose the hairband, you just can go pick up some more for a really inexpensive amount of money. So that is one quick tip that I really like. The next quick tip that I like is to use a stopper bead. So a stopper bead you use instead of tying a knot to begin your jewelry making design. And what is great is you can just pull the stopper bead out. So you can slide it along the length of it and just pull it out. And it doesn't damage your thread, and then you don't have that knot there, which if you wanna maybe do a little adjusting to your design, or you wanna go back and add a clasp or something, it's nice to not have a knot there. To place your stopper bead, you just go ahead, you take your end of your thread a stopper bead onto it. And when I say stopper bead, this is just an ordinary seed bead. This happens to be an 11/0 Toho round, and I just slid it down, and then you go back through it in the other direction. So you're basically just making a big loop, and you're pulling it, and then you've got that stopper bead on there. So another tip with the stopper bead is if you allow an extra long tail, what you can do is you can really adjust your design later. So instead of leaving the normal 6-7 inches, I've started leaving more like 12 to 14 inches in case I want to add some little flourish towards the end. So that is my quick tip number 2 that I really like. Quick tip number 3, actually this one was shared with me on our Facebook page by a fan and a customer, and I had never heard it before, and I absolutely love it. So she had said that to open up your tubes of seed beads, use a pair of chain nose pliers. And I had never had occurred to me, and it works so well. So by the nature of these tubes, they're meant to be tight because you don't want your seed beads falling out, of course. So they're usually quite tight, but if you hold them and you just use your pliers, it easily pulls that lid off and you can put it right back. So I love that tip. Okay, my last 2. So I'm going to show you the earring one first. So if you have an earring hook, you usually have a loop at the bottom, and that loop can be faced different ways. So there's different orientations of loops out there, but sometimes your design calls for a different orientation than the actual style of finding that you have. So here we're looking at this earring hook here, and I have 2 different pairs of earrings I've done, and both of these tutorials are over at Beadaholique, but you see the loop here is facing sideways. And it had to be that way to connect to this tiara cast connector. Now this is the same earring finder on this pair of earrings, and that loop is facing forward. And I needed it to face forward for this design because I wanted to mimic 2 loops. So I wanted just a little bit of a balance there. Now they're the same earring finding, but I was able to change the orientation of the loop. So to change the orientation of the loop, you just hold it tight in one hand, you take your pliers, you grab it, and you've got a sturdy grip on it, and you twist. And by doing that, you change your loop orientation. And that's a great way of being able to use the same finding for multiple projects. And my last quick tip that I really like, and I do this because I am always in a hurry and grabbing what I can supply-wise, here is your classic head pin. And then if you're perhaps doing a project that needs an eye pin, but all you have are head pins, or you just want to use the same gauge wire, make everything really consistent, you can turn your head pin into an eye pin. So to do that, you just take your cutters and you cut off the head. So now you just have a nice, long, clean piece of wire. And then I'm going to use wire looping pliers. You can use round nose pliers. you just grab the end of it. So you see right there, I just got the end, and you curve it and you rotate it around, and then you got that, and then you notch it back. And now, you might need to flatten it a little bit, but you have a classic eye pin now that started as a head pin. So that is my final quick tip that I really like. These are my top 5. We have a lot of other quick tips over at Beadaholique as well as on our YouTube channel, so check those out, but these are my favorites. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something. Thanks, everyone.